Extract assets. As of the 2015 release of Photoshop CC, extract assets functionality is no longer available in the form described in this article, and more intuitive functionality to export artports and layers group and layer groups and documents and as image assets has been introduced in Photoshop, by the way. And extract assets is a feature in Photoshop CC 2014 release and earlier that provides an interface on top of Adobe Generator to extract assets quickly for web and screen design from Photoshop files. And you can select layers or layer groups in Photoshop and use a graphical user interface to extract them as JPG or PNG or SVG or GIF image assets. And with extract assets you can do the following: extract a layer or a layer group from a BSD into one or more image assets, and you can create image assets that are PNG or JPG or GIF or SVG, and set up 1x or 2x or more versions of all image assets, and you can to preview each image asset and easily extract assets into your preferred folder. And you can also ensure that the extracted assets are updated whenever the BSD changes. So what about extract layers or layer groups? When multiple layers or layer groups are selected for extraction, you are presented with options to generate a separate asset from each of the selected items, by the way. And you have to select one or more layers or layer groups, and you have to right click the selected items and then select extract assets from the context menu, and then press the control the CMD the plus OPT plus shift plus W if you use macOS, and or control alt shift W if you use Windows keyboard shortcuts, and then select file, then select extract assets. Note and be careful here again now. Extract assets honor layer names that conform with the specified quality and size parameters. For example, if you try to extract an asset from a layer named layers.gif, the extract asset dialog displays GIF, by the way, as the default format for the image asset. And in the extract asset dialog specify the following setting for each asset that you want to generate. Asset format, select PNG 8 or PNG 24 or PNG 32 or GIF and JPG or SVG, and quality scaling for JPG asset you can specify a value from 0 to 100% to scale the quality of the asset, by the way, and adjust the slider in the appropriate direction. And to extract more than one version of the asset, click the plus icon next to the asset in the extract asset dialog box, and you can specify different format and quality and scaling parameters for each asset, by the way. And then number 2, click extract. And number 3, Photoshop notifies you that it requires a change in layer name to continue with the asset extraction. And this is because Photoshop uses the underlying generator framework to create assets through the generator syntax. And then click OK to continue with extracting assets. Number 4, navigate to the folder where you want to save the generated assets. Number 5, click extract. Then Photoshop creates the image assets and opens their containing folder in the Finder Mac operating system or Windows Explorer if you use Mac, if you use Windows. And in the process of creating the assets, the relevant layers are automatically renamed in accordance with the specified quality and the size parameters. Note here again now, layers, by the way, layers and layer groups that you extract as image assets are displayed in the extract assets dialog box the next time you invoked image asset extraction functionality. How to specify asset resolutions? You can specify extraction setting and create assets for different purposes using a number of pre-populated setting combinations. For example, you can generate assets for retina displays, and any setting that you specify are applied document wide, and specify one or more resolution you want in the extract asset section on the right. And number 2, if you want a resolution that is not listed, or to change destination subfolder for assets to be extracted at different resolutions. Click setting. Number 3. You can either use the default suffixes for each resolution or add your own. Number 4. You can also choose to use the default subfolders for each resolution or specify a different subfolder name that you prefer. Number 5. Clicking done in the extract assets dialog saves this setting to the document, and whenever you next create assets, the same setting are used. And all future assets are created, by the way, for the resolutions you have chosen when the document is opened in any instance of Photoshop CC. And you can automatically generate assets. How to automatically generate assets? If necessary, you can select the automatically generate assets while updating the document option. This option, by the way, is synchronized with the generate and image assets option for Photoshop Generator. And when you enable the extract assets option, the generator option is also automatically enabled. And how to share with developers? We have steps here now. Step number 1. Save your BSD file to the Creative Cloud folder. You synchronize it and with Creative Cloud. And number 2, open extract assets, then press file, then choose extract assets and add the assets you want. Then click extract and choose the default folder to save to. Number 3, when you open the BSD in Creative Cloud, you will now be able to view your Photoshop file along with a list of assets you have extracted. And number 4, you can now share your BSD and the assets you have created with developers you want to collaborate with through Creative Cloud. What about common errors? Common errors is meaning that layer is empty in the extract asset dialog box, and layers that are empty or are not capable or rendering images cannot be rendered in extract asset dialog. And these layers, by the way, can be clipping masks and adjustment layers, and or just layers that have no pixels in them. And asset names are in conflict. If you have layers with the same name but split across different groups, and they are likely to overwrite each other because assets are usually rendered into one single directory. To prevent this, Photoshop automatically rename a layer when we detect a conflict. And if you overwrite the renaming, you receive this error to prevent you from overwriting an existing asset with the name you have chosen. And if your asset names contain invalid characters, you also receive this error, by the way, and rename the file without the invalid characters to resolve the issue. And the image is outside of the document bounds. And the extract was enabled to render the image because it bleeds off the canvas and move the image so that it fits within the canvas. And an unknown error has occurred. This error occurred, by the way, if Adobe Generator stops responding while the extract asset dialog box is open. And to fix it, click done. To close the extract assets dialog, save your file, then restart Photoshop.